Joining me now, the Director of Strategic Analysis Australia, Michael Shoebridge. Yeah, yes, it's billed, Michael, as a security conference there in Munich, and you and I both know it well on the annual calendar. But I tell you what, that was a speech in defence of values and culture and Western civilisation. I honestly thought it was a cracker of a statesman's speech.
Well, Peter, it was a much more policy-heavy and a partnership-laden speech, and it was about values and shared security interests. It was a big contrast to the much more blunt and brutal speech that US Vice President Vance gave last year. And I think it shows Rubio is setting himself up as a presidential candidate, but he's also changing the tone with Europe.
I had the same thought, actually. There was gears in that speech, layers upon layers, I thought were very, very interesting. And I also noticed, we've seen movement from the German Chancellor saying we got it wrong on nuclear. They're going back into energy security. We've seen that announcement in the last sort of 24 hours from the French, going even harder and stronger in the area of nuclear. So, energy security is national security. And now we've got the issue with the cars on our street and the direct links now confirmed by the United States authorities between Chinese car manufacturer BYD, also Alibaba, the big e-commerce giant, but they are saying that the links of these companies to the Chinese military have got to be acknowledged and dealt with.
Yes, and it's not new news that Chinese law requires their companies to cooperate with the Chinese military and intelligence agencies. But for the Pentagon to make this a public finding about companies like Alibaba and BYD is big news. It's bigger news for Australia because BYD cars can't be sold in America, and BYD is one of our top 10 brands now and largest EV vehicle seller. So this is a wake-up call for the Australian government, not just to discount the security implications of these Chinese companies.
I know we haven't got the protesters on the street for Iran like they are on the street for Gaza, but I don't want to lose sight of what's happening there because it's incredibly important to world security. What's the latest?
I think the latest is it looks like America is sending that second carrier group, the Gerald Ford strike group, to the Gulf. And out of the Netanyahu-Trump talks, extra pressure is being brought to bear on Iran, and Iran is now talking about compromises on its nuclear program. So the key thing here is, can Iran give any real compromises that satisfy President Trump without giving up their nuclear program? And I still think that's not possible.
And any number count on the likely deaths of protesters? Are we still seeing activity on the streets of Tehran in particular, Michael?
Not seeing a lot of protests, but of course that's because so many Iranian citizens are in Iranian jails from the previous protest round. And the Iranians seem to be holding off from mass executions, but they could do that at any time.